Hello all, we're back again. Thank you for today. Today I have a dear guest that we actually know each other very well. This is James from Mustang Motorsport, who actually built my car, Lana, the white Mustang. So how are you today, sir?
Good, very good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I've been looking forward to this all. And I had my car down there and I just briefly said, "Do you want to come on the podcast?" Half expecting you to go, "Nah, not my thing." But then when you said yes, I was really, looking forward to this. So this one's going to be fun. So what have you been up to, my friend?
Oh, well, we've freshly had a baby. My wife had a baby a couple of months ago.
Congratulations.
So that's been very busy and, taken over the business as well as the new managing director this financial year. So
congratulations, because I know you've been working very hard towards that.
We have been, yeah. So it's a lot of work, but we're getting everything settled and just getting settled into it, really.
So you've been with the brand since 2007. You started off as a light vehicle mechanic, yeah?
Yeah, so I started there as a first-year apprentice. Mm-hmm. I knocked on the door, asked for a job because I was into cars at the time and I was playing with my car in the garage.
Yep.
And what I ended up doing, they initially didn't need anyone, an extra person.
That old story,
we got an apprentice, we're fine.
Yeah.
And then I just nagged a little bit more.
So did you do your apprenticeship there, or are you already qualified?
No, I did my apprenticeship there. I was 19 years old, so I had 1 year out of high school. So before that, I finished high school and I did a graphic design and course. And
I did not know about you.
Yeah.
You went graphic design and then you said, fuck this, I'm going to get,
Yeah, basically. So basically, if you wind back a little bit further, I am a bit of a nerd. I do like, computer games and all that. And I grew up, we were the first kids on the street to have internet and a CD burner and all that kind of stuff.
I need to introduce you to my mate, Tim, who built the video game for Gumball.
Oh, yeah.
And DDE, and also he's got, I think it's Burnout Masters. He's got a few other bits and pieces, but gaming in cars is huge.
Yeah.
As you've grown with Mustang Motorsport, and you started off there as an apprentice and you've worked your way up through management.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Australian car scene? What have you seen change? Because obviously you're plugged into everything. Every weekend I see on your socials you're doing this.
Doing something,
yeah. What's going on with that?
I think it's always changing landscape, a lot of it.
Yep.
There's a big changes in the when COVID happened and the way people purchased cars and the way they interacted with people. A lot of things people moved to the internet. But in our scene with the Mustangs, it's generally pretty constant, but you can't go past that crazy wave when the Mustang first came to Australia from factory. And that was a pivotal moment in our business. Why
was that a pivotal moment?
So before Ford brought the cars out factory right-hand drive from the factory, we were one of the biggest importers of Mustangs in the country.
Yep.
So we used to import them, convert them to right-hand drive.
Okay.
So back then we were bringing in Mustangs, Shelbys, Celines, Roush vehicles, all sorts of stuff, all sorts of Mustangs, and converting them to right-hand drive. So as a business we were doing that. Those cars were much more expensive because we had to convert them locally.
Yep.
So they were a market of people that were maybe a little bit more affluent than a normal person.
Yep.
And you remember that's an era when you still could go down the street and buy a Holden or a Ford, V8, reasonable price.
Yeah.
So if you wanted a Mustang or something, it was a niche, expensive venture, but it was for somebody who wanted something special and different. So that was before.
Were you worried when Ford switched to this?
Yeah.
When Ford made this decision, and obviously they'd been watching you from afar because of the sheer volume of cars you were bringing over, were you worried that your business was going to crater? Because obviously you were a shop that was converting from left to right-hand drive.
Left-hand right.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually, actually ties in a little bit with my career at the shop.
Yeah.
So at the time, up until that point, I was a mechanic on the floor working on the cars. I know the cars inside and out because I'd pull the cars apart.
You probably know my car better than I do.
Yeah, but this is even the ones before that. When we found out that Ford decided to bring it from factory, we decided we needed to pivot as a business and leverage the companies that we'd already been had really good relationships with in America. So that's the Roush and the Shelby at the time. So we decided that, okay, we'll approach those companies and talk to them about doing the upgrades that they offer in America on the Australian cars. So we were the first company in Australia to have like a Roush supercharged Mustang on the street. We actually had the first S550 Mustang on the road registered in the country before Ford Australia even did. So that
that car would be pricey now.
It's our race car.
Oh yeah, okay. Of course
it turned into our race car after we did all the promo. But we saw the writing on the wall with it, and we thought, all right, we want to promote the modification products. So we actually imported some left-hand drive S550s, 2 of them.
Yep.
Converted them to right-hand drive. Just did it quick and dirty, just so we could, get the car on the road registered, and put the Roush supercharger and Roush body kits and Shelby kits and stuff on them, and promoted those packages I think it was about 6 or 7 months before a factory right-hand drive car landed on Australian shores. So that was really cool to do.
You know what? If you don't want to answer this question, I get it. What is your relationship like with Ford these days? Like, do they see you as a benefit to their brand, or do they just see you as some tuning shop?
Yeah, more so the second there. We're not connected with them or work with them or any way, but we also I don't believe we upset them. You know, our stance is that we bring customers to buy Mustangs that wouldn't buy a Mustang. So I feel that if a lot of our customers who want a Shelby, they have no interest in buying a Mustang. They want to buy a Shelby. So we're actually selling, small numbers, more cars than what they would normally sell, because this customer would never have bought a Mustang.
That's a fair point, actually, because the Mustang owner and the Shelby owner is kind of the same owner, but kind of not at the same time. I love my Mustang. I'm very proud of it. It does a lot of car rallies. You and I talk about promoting all the time. I think I'm posting to Mustang Motorsports in Instagram probably every fucking week. How is obviously, so you've got a very solid relationship with Shelby.
Yep.
You're authorised to build them in Australia. I believe you're the only shop in Australia that has the authorization, yeah?
Yes. So we were the first mod shop outside of America to be the official mod shop, or the tier 1 they call it, where we're allowed to do the full car upgrade. Yep. They used to have other tiers for they were allowed to do modifications to a pre-existing Shelby and then still stay on the registry. But we were the first one that we could actually modify it to do the whole package. And being the only one in Australia, we don't have a large, we're a big country, but we're a small country, with the quantity of cars we do. Yeah. So the amount that we can do per year matches what they can supply externally anyway. Okay. So it kind of just works where and the customer satisfaction of we take care of all the Australian design rule differences and all the things to make it road legal in Australia. If there was multiple companies doing the same thing, it would get very complicated and very painful. So it's much easier. One company, they have one in New Zealand, guys in South Africa, in England, Canada as well. So they have a set team workshop around the country to make it a global vehicle. When
you go to your production numbers for Shelby in Australia, do you is the demand more than the supply that you can build? Can you build, because every time I take my car down there, I'm always having to wheel and deal with Angus to get my car in. You guys are just always busy.
I would say it's just always teetering on the thing. And I think to be an efficient workshop and a business, you don't want downtime where you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs. And
correct, because that's expensive.
That's expensive. So you want to be always got something booked in and busy. Yep. So therefore, maybe sometimes for some smaller jobs, we might have to push them out a little bit. But in respect to the customers that put a pre-order in and do the whole order for a Shelby vehicle, which takes months from start to finish, if we start throwing in little jobs in front of theirs, it might push out their lead time, and we don't want that. So the capacity, I feel sometimes when a new model comes out, it's more than what we can deal with.
Yeah, okay.
And it can be the lead time draws out too long, but I want to try and keep that lead time to maybe 6 months, 9 months from you walking in the door and going, I really want a Super Snake, and then we going through the package to delivering it. Maybe 9 months max. Yeah.
Obviously, the Super Snake is your most popular product by far.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the best way for someone watching this going, you know what? I'm on a Super Snake. Do they purchase the car or do they just send you a check? You go find the car, build it. What's the easiest way to do it?
There's a couple of different ways. That is technically the easiest way, which
Yep.
is just like, sell me the whole car. But when you do a whole vehicle, and it can be like, there's more like on-road costs and taxes when you do it that way.
Yeah, okay.
So a lot of the time people might have a car that they have that's already registered or something, and then send it to us and do the upgrade. But at least we have the option to do multiple ways.
What's the bounce? What is obviously a Shelby that's in the registry is worth more than just a Mustang with a Shelby kit on it. And you get a lot of clones and that sort of stuff. What's the bounce? What's the different percentage? Like having you get guys that build their own Shelby. And I would assume that car is worthless, like the upgrades. Versus something else.
Yeah. It is. It's kind of like you see clones or copies of things in all products.
Yeah, true. That's,
So when you see somebody like we see Shelby is the vehicle, but it's also the brand and the heritage.
Yep.
I feel might sound contentious, but I feel like it's cheating Shelby by making a tribute or a copy when you're buying products that are copies of. Like, it's not actually the money of the product has been paid to some other company that's making knockoff stuff. When you build a Shelby vehicle, some of that value and that cost goes to the Shelby Foundation as part of.
Okay.
So they have a charity for heart disease. I think it's and young mechanics getting up and started in America. So they have a whole foundation. A Carroll Shelby Foundation is part of like the licensing and the cost of the vehicle. So I feel like if you're paying tribute to the man, you buy his cars from his company because that pays tribute to him because his lasting legacy is the brand that's there and the cars that are getting built to this day. So I think from a customer point of view, like anything, a genuine product retains its value, be it a Rolex watch, be it if you go back to cars like a GT HO Falcon, people love the HO. There's lots of HO clones out there, and the value of a real one versus a clone is not even the same ballpark.
Oh, if we only knew what we knew now with all the cars that we've sold previously, Jesus, it would have been better than a super fund.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh man, I mean,
some of the Japanese cars, GTRs, Porsches, the values have gone through the roof.
Oh, it's like silly money, and they just keep going up and up. And it's how many? I've said this before in other podcasts. How many, owners of cars do we know that have warehouses full of cars that they just don't drive because they're worried about
damaging and
resale values? And I don't think. Obviously, being a very happy customer of Mustang Motorsport, you the guys are the only one who touches my car. It's actually you've only ever touched my car.
Yeah.
Like no one else has done it. Like you've obviously got systems and procedures in place to protect your Shelby license.
Yes.
I'm sure there's plenty of other shops out there that would gladly take it off your hands.
Yeah.
Your management style has obviously changed, as you've become into this managing director role.
Yeah.
What's the lesson that you've learned since taking over the business and being more, management instead of hands-on with the cars?
It's probably like a little bit delegating time and delegating responsibility, I think is a big one. So I'm always trying to, let's say, not do the same thing. So if something's working, it's like, it's working, but maybe it could be done better.
Yep.
So it might be allocating a bit, one of the other team members to step up and take over a small part of a role. And then that frees your space up, your bandwidth up to do something else that's a benefit of the company. So it's, I think that's just an ever evolving thing over the years, but it's learning that. And it's also learning to, a little bit of time and take care of yourself. There's a lot of things that happen on a daily basis. And sometimes it's better just to prioritize some important things. Because if you don't prioritize those, then you just have this like your worst day or your worst weekend. Nothing actually gets done. But there's prioritizing is hard, but it's also you got to sometimes put your foot down and say to people, "Sorry, I've already booked out my time to deal with this problem. Your problem can go after it. What's important? Which one? How do you do? Yeah."
Absolutely. I mean, I have the same problem in my business where clients reach out to me and I'm like, I have a team, I have staff, they're equally capable of dealing with this, but I want to deal with you because they're used to dealing with you, right? And I think more businesses need to understand that, you cannot do everything, even because you're the face of Mustang Motorsport. Everyone should, I'll just deal with James. Well,
I actually got that yesterday. A customer called up and goes, I want to speak to James. And he's like, oh, and then one of my boys is like, oh, what about? What can help? And he's like, oh, I just want to talk to James. And they pressed him one more time. And he goes, he just wanted to book his car in for a service. And you're like, and it's like, okay. And like, I love it that everyone wants to talk to me. That's fine. But the boys, oh, that's fine. I can deal with that. And they book it in and everything. And sometimes when that customer does come in, I'll talk to him and say, sorry, I'm busy on everything. But I actually emphasize that his experience with our company is better going through my team members, because they know
what's going on.
They know the price of the service and the costs and whatever else, and they can quote and fill out the forms and check your car in and make sure it's right. My job is to make sure that they've got everything they need to do that, and then they actually execute it. But if they ask me to book it in with service, and they go, oh, how much is it and what's this? I'm like, actually, I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a while since it's been a while since I've been on the shop floor.
Yeah, and that's the part about delegating, is like going, like, I want to make sure, like, my goal is that the customer has the best experience possible when they come to the shop. Because really anyone that comes to our shop, there's a little bit of servicing, but most of it is, it's a toy shop, and people are coming to, I tell this to the boys all the time, they're treating themselves. And it's like, whatever you're into, like you're into cars, someone might be into computers or something else. And it's like, that's their treat. Like people only have a little bit of money spare now.
Especially the last 2 years in Melbourne. Hell,
so, and then that's when, their experience during that time of, wanting to treat themselves needs to be positive and a good time. So we make sure that it goes smoothly and it's nice.
What I'm seeing, especially with the Mustang, is managing directors, founders of companies, get the company to a certain level. Yeah. And they're doing this cookie cutter thing. They get the watch. Yep. Then they go on the European holiday, and then they might get a 911 or they'll get a Ferrari. Yeah. Because that's what everyone else is doing. Yeah. More people, I feel, are now customizing Mustangs. Yeah. I did it. Funny enough, we talk about buying cars sight unseen. I bought my car sight unseen. Yeah. And whatever. And then I think it was at your shop within a month. Mm-hmm. It's like, I find this platform a lot more, a lot more, you can get what you want. I've always wanted a sleeper. I didn't want a loud car, blah, blah, blah. We got
kind of hides under the radar, but it's got some power behind it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You've done a good job, sir. Like you do good work. What do you like when you get that founder, managing director coming to you and said, like, I want something, but I don't know what I want? Yeah. How do you deal with that sort of customer?
I actually think to a point, a lot of people know what they like, but don't know how to get there.
Okay, explain more about that.
So kind of like, it's like when you see a well-designed anything, like house, furniture, whatever design, like it's a core part of design, is like something people just like it because it's right. Yeah. So it's the same thing with modifying a vehicle is turning around and working out what they actually want to use the car for and what's their desire. Yep. And then you ask them more that question, and then you can work out what to put on it. So for example, you might get some customers who go, I want 1,500 horsepower and I want this and I want this and I want that and want that.
Do they have the driving skill to control 1,500 horsepower?
Yeah. But it's like, then you ask them a little bit deeper and you go, oh, what are you going to use the car for? And then they'll explain what they actually use their car for. And it might be just driving to the shops on a Sunday or do a track day once a year, but they're going to have a full drag race tune thing they want to have in it. And you go, just because that one day they want to go to the drag strip. So you try and find out what they actually want to use the car for, and then you kind of turn it around and go, well, you actually want, to do this, this, and this. And a lot of the times the people that go, oh, I trust you, do what you think is best. Usually they'll come back to you once they get the car and they go, oh, this is amazing. I never knew it would be, as good as it is. And I think it's because they're letting go of they know what they like but they don't know how to get there. So it's helping them get there. And then from a design point of view as well, sometimes people like a certain color combo or want something, and then you might have to explain to them, look, that's actually in execution probably not going to work. Yes. And you need to think about it this way, and you just mold them and stuff. to a little bit, because it's obviously everyone's own personality and they're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's helping them make sure that in the end product they actually get what they want.
I totally agree with that. Like the product, the execution is so important, right? And a Mustang Motorsport Mustang. Yeah. Like I know the difference. There's plenty of other tuning shops out there, right? I kind of know that, but a Mustang Motorsport product. Yeah. It's, the finesse, the finish. Yeah. You can just tell that the little details that you guys do is probably why I believe you are the biggest shop in Australia by far. Yeah. Just by volume, by everyone knows.
I think it's that and variety as well. Yeah. Like variety in the one brand. Yeah. Yeah.
What's changing with the Australian car scene? Obviously, we've got EVs to deal with. Yeah. Ford said they're not going to build a Mustang EV, but they already have.
Well, they kind of consider it a Mustang, but not the core Mustang, because they're changing it. I believe it's like a bit of a brand, as in like they're trying to use the Mustang as a brand, as a way of life kind of brand, as opposed to just the one car. But when they say, Jim Farley posts up saying that you will never not have a V8, the Mustang will always have a V8. Yeah. That's great news. And and he races the Mustang in the Mustang Challenge.
That's coming to Australia, isn't it?
It's coming to Australia next year, yeah. So people are buying into that, and that'll be at some rounds. So, but it's cool to see that the Mustangs it's never not been available. It's 50 plus years, 60 years, sorry. On sale, where all these other American car company, Dodge, Chevy, they come in and out. They come in and out, but the Mustang's been a constant. It's always been on sale. We've dealt with all those cars at our shop, and I always see the Mustang as the Goldilocks of the three. The Challenger's big, fat, and a boat. Yeah. The Camaro the interior is really tight and really small, and then the Mustang's the one that you can have it every day. So that's why it's been so popular, I feel.
I feel that when people give me grief about my Mustang is they don't understand. Yeah. Right.
Why do they give you grief?
Because they think they give me grief because they're like, why are you bringing that here? You've got Ferrari, BMWs, that. And I said, have you driven one? And they don't like.
So do you tell them, have you watched Ford versus Ferrari?
Yeah. But it's even that. It's like, people, have you driven one? No. And I'm like, it also boils down to but it also boils down to a Mustang is a great car to learn about car culture, to learn how to drive, to learn how to properly use the car, to properly push your traction limits. Understand. I'm actually very grateful that I had 19s on my car for so long. Mm-hmm. You and I discussed for years to go to 20s. Probably I held out a year too long. Yeah. But to learn to drive in a heavy car on a 19 with a high tire wall is very forgiving. Yeah.
But it can feel numb.
Oh yeah.
Squishy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But and now night and day with the 20s, I'm like, why the fuck did I not do this sooner? Why did I not speak to James, listen to James sooner when he's like, you really want to go down this road? I'm like, yeah, fuck whatever. Fine, thanks. I love the car. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah. But it's kind of like, it was the last missing piece on my car. Yeah. Because all the suspension work we've done, all the other work, all the, I think you've set my Mustang up very European, as in people who doesn't go around a corner. Take it for a drive. Oh fuck! It does go around a corner. Yeah, no shit.
Well, we very much that was the suspension and everything that is from the tarmac rally stuff. Yeah, that we used to do. So Craig used to race in the tarmac rally at Targa Tasmania and everything for 20 years. So
Targa's back on. I just found out.
Yes. Yeah. But I think it's in a slightly different format.
It is. The guest we just had on before this was just discussing he's doing, but I think we're getting because we've always been, the last fucking 10 years is all about social media, personal brand. I've only, I'm now using my Mustang as a branding tool as well for my company, but also for everything that I do. It's all over my LinkedIn. People are engaging me because of what I do outside of TR Resourcing. Yeah. I'm a recruiter with a podcast that has a white white Mustang. Yeah. Let's edit that out. I was actually thinking about my mate who was talking to me about his white Lambo versus my white Mustang. Dyslexic moment. But
it's the American Lambo.
It's the American Lambo, and probably a little bit more reliable.
Yeah.
Did you see how many Revoltos blew up on Gumball this year?
No, that's a lot. That's 3 too many.
And they were all brand new cars.
Yeah.
One had a lock transmission, the other one blew an oil cooler.
Yeah.
All under 2,000 kilometers. Like, and the other one I think had an ECU issue. Like, but what I'm getting at is like, I'm massively buying into personal brand, but what I think people are buying into with the Mustang is they're buying into an experience. They're buying into actually being part of something.
Yeah.
Like you guys are running track days, you're doing weekend stuff. Like the amount of interest that you're generating from that is probably massive.
Yeah. I think it's the, you know, a lot of our customers, maybe they are like a little bit on the older side and they're treating themselves with a, you know, Mustang and they're getting out there socially with people and crossing paths with people they might not normally cross paths with, but then because they've got the Mustang, that brings them together and they're meeting new people and new friends. So a Mustang is part of it is actually, it brings a lot of people together. Like you and me, we probably wouldn't cross paths in our normal work life, but because of the Mustang, we do, and you know, and get along and everything. So people are building genuine quality friendships from the cars, and then like that's where the Mustang is more than just a piece of metal, cool car. It's actually becomes a part of your social, you know, fabric. And that's,
100%.
Yeah.
And it's also a good conversation piece. I guess there's not much you don't know. Actually, there's nothing you don't know about the Mustang. Like,
try to know everything, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, engineering compliance, you know, making, you know, there's plenty of shops out there that'll do stuff to cars that they shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah.
You guys are so clean with what you do, right? Like like the engineering quality of what you build is probably one of the foundations of why you sell so many fucking cars.
Well, they're actually technically sellable. So in Australia, we have very strict engineering and road rules. You know, car volumes and all this kind of, you know, volume of exhaust, all this kind of stuff. We're stricter than America, where we go to our American partners and ask questions about things, and then they don't really bother or consider it because they don't need to in their area.
And the market in Australia is so small.
And ours is so small, so we have to do our own engineering and own testing. So, and because we're the most thorough, even like New Zealand, they're just cruisy as over there compared to us. So
really?
When it comes to some engineering of the cars, we're probably up there with one of the strictest, probably in the world. You know, with not just emissions, but just all sorts of other things that you wouldn't even think of that you have to make sure is correct. Which is when modifying a vehicle. So you're putting suspension in a vehicle. Is this control arm being tested with certain extra weight of a supercharger, and you know the track width of a wheels are within a certain boundaries, and because you've added extra weight, it affects this and affects this. It's just a snowball effect. So when we do a brand new vehicle, like a brand new Shelby, we have to go through all the engineering and that's comply it.
And that's why it takes so long.
Takes so long, and that's the initial car you do, and then once you've done the initial test proceed things and documentation, then you can run all the cars off that. So as what I'm trying to say is you have when the first new model comes out, you do have to do all the testing and approvals and everything, and then once you've done that, you're good until the model variation happens. So in 2 or 3 years time, when say Shelby, you go, oh, we're changing this and we're changing that, oh, we have to go do testing all over again and redo it. So what I'm trying to say is that because it's so strict with that engineering, not many workshops or companies actually offer it or do it because they don't have the capacity or the skill set. So because we've been importing and converting cars from America the business has been doing it for 30 years, we're used to it. That's what we do.
Okay.
So adding modifications to an already engineered car here, that's almost like easy compared to importing a car from Japan or America and then making it Australian road legal. So because we're used to that, we can offer that, and then that honestly adds value to the vehicle because everything we sell as a package or a product will be road legal, and that means the person that owns that vehicle, when they want to go sell the car, when they're finished with it or whatever, they can because it's been engineered and it's road legal. If you modify a vehicle and slap a supercharger on a car, you can do that in your shed if you really wanted to. But without getting it engineered, that car is no longer road legal. You can't get insurance for it, or you might think you have insurance. When you crash, you don't. And you can't sell it to somebody because it's not engineered. So these are things that add value to a vehicle and make that vehicle that we produce keeps its value or gains value.
So what you're basically saying is there's a difference where your product is to someone else's product, because you've got the clarity and the backing to know that you can sell this car without issue. If I ever wanted to sell my car, I would, but I don't. I've owned all the cars I've regretted are the ones I've sold.
Yeah. So just don't sell anymore.
I'm just going to sell anymore. We're just going to build cars, mate. Let's just go from there. Right. You're taking over. You're now the MD officially of Mustang Motorsport. Yeah. What's your growth strategy without giving obviously trade secrets away? But what are you? Yeah. What's next for the brand?
Well, at this stage, we've just been obviously keeping on going with our Shelby brand and Shelby lineup and everything like that. We're putting a lot of effort into the other brand RTR, which is Ready to Rock, which is Von Gittin Jr.'s company from America.
I never actually knew what it freaking stood for.
Ready to Rock.
Oh, we have to do one.
Yeah.
You and I are doing an RTR. You heard it here first, guys. I'm doing another Mustang, and it'll be an RTR. We'll do an RTR.
That'll make Vaughn proud. So, so RTR is a fairly young company in America. They're 10 years, been around just over 10 years now. Yeah. And he is the second company in America to ever collaborate with Ford on a model. So they just released like an EcoBoost Mustang.
Yeah, okay, that's what. Yeah.
And that was the second time. So before that was Carroll Shelby in the 60s. Yeah. So you can see the tightness of RTR with Ford in America. Anyway, so we represent RTR in Australia, and we're helping kind of get that name out there. Like you don't know the name, what it means. Ready to Rock. So our job is to
cool, bro.
Yeah, so it's to get out there and get the name, get people to know what the brand is. Go from there?
Okay, not that we're going to you and I will nerd out about this, but we can make this. What is the difference? The fundamental core difference between Shelby and RTR? Because obviously. Different products, same foundation, same car, but what direction is RTR going in versus Shelby? Because Shelby's had it for forever. Forever. Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting space. Like we represent both brands here, and I think we equally treat them like evenly and fairly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Which is like, it is a.
If anyone from Shelby's watching, it's all good. We love Shelby. Everyone. I have Shelby wheels on my car. Yep. You know what though? I'm pretty sure I've got both parts. I've got RTR and Shelby on my car.
Yeah, you might have a couple of bits and pieces.
But I think that's the fun of the thing.
You can mix and match and do whatever you want. But from the differences, like the brands are very similar in their like what they offer vehicle wise. But Shelby's is just going for that more high end exotic.
The heritage.
They got the heritage, but then they're using like all their components on the new Super. They got carbon fiber. The wheels are magnesium that you see on like a Lambo and stuff like that. Yep. So it's very high end. Major changes to the car where you're repainting things and pulling a lot of parts off. RTR, they have like a lower tier entry level, which is more like a dealership kind of entry level. And they're trying to get the brand and the cars into the younger audience of Mustang owners. So
Cletus McFarlane's got one.
Yeah, which is YouTubers, millennials, and things like that. So the RTR brand is kind of going for like the youth market a little bit, and Shelby's still the older one. But Shelby still is now working a lot more into trying to get young people interested in their brand and everything. So they do work together, but their price points do vary, and they don't clash too much. And we work with both of them to cover. Yeah.
Do you see Mustang Motorsport teaming up with a dealership? And the dealership offering a Mustang Motorsport package on a new car?
Well, we've tried that in the past when we've done that when the cars first came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like we can put together a Mustang Motorsport, car, but I suppose where our main focus is at this stage representing American brands, as in vehicles that you see overseas or in America that you wish you could have in Australia. There's always like like the Bronco, like Vipers, Dodge Challengers, like we do, we've been doing those. And then the Mustangs with these special edition like Super Snake and the RTR vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So when you're on the internet scrolling on Instagram and you see this cool stuff in a different country, I wish Australia could have this. That was
the foundation of the whole.
That's what we've been trying to do, because their brand name cars and models that available somewhere else, and then we want to make them available on Australian roads. So that's the focus there. And these companies make these bespoke parts, like body kit parts and things like that. And then obviously, because they build so many of them, there's quantity to make. If we wanted to make our own car and then design our own kits or whatever like that, I think it would be very difficult to justify like the quantity to order and do it.
I get that.
So it's very difficult there. So I think we initially used to do some like Mustang Motorsport vehicles, which were popular at the start of when the cars first came here. But I feel like you're talking about trends before of like what trends of what customers are wanting to buy. And I feel that lately it has been desire of something that's available somewhere else that they want to have here.
They want to be individuals, like they're wanting to stamp their
individuality on something.
Yeah.
And that's like talking about RTR again. They just released the RTR Spec 5, which looks really cool, and it's wide body. And part of that package is a custom painted body color. So Spec 5 RTR on the road will have a standard Mustang color palette, which sounds I think that's a really cool feature about it, because you end up having this wide body carbon fiber clad crazy Mustang, and it's going to be in a color that you don't normally see. So if someone sees one down the street, like, wow, it really blows you away. So that's that personality, originality.
And I think that's what I'm seeing more and more. Like, running a business is fucking hard enough, right?
Yeah.
Staff, payroll, taxes, insurance. I can go on. He's going to have nightmares, right? But it's now at a point where you need an outlet from all that.
Yes.
And something
fun.
Something fun and something different and something that you can act, because I find the people I've met through the cast, I've met yourself, I've met a whole stack of people, right? You're not necessarily going to meet them in your current circle. And as your business evolves and as you evolve, you kind of need those new people. I mean, how much have you learned from your clients?
Yeah, lots of things, depending on who they are.
Exactly. But people that you wouldn't normally be able to be associated with, but because they're buying a Mustang from you or they're buying their sixth Mustang from you, you get to make a relationship with them. Yeah,
and you get some really good discussions. Like I've got a customer who we just built a Super Snake for him, and it's his third car he's built with us.
Yep.
We did a Mustang Motorsport special edition Mustang, so one of our combo packs one, and he loved it. And then he's had another one, and then we just done a Super Snake for him, and he's a businessman for many years in his own field, and we really just have a good chat with him about business and things and the way you deal with customers and all sorts of stuff. So I find those conversations interesting, and you learn things about it.
100%.
Yeah.
So when I take my car out, they hear the noise and it like takes them back to their youth or something, because all the cars are quiet now. They all look the same. I'm sorry, but modern cars, I don't give a fuck what the brand is. But
they all look the same.
They all look the fucking same.
Yeah. The SUV jelly bean shape has taken over. Yeah. So which jelly bean you want in the case? Most of them are white though, but there might be a grey one in there.
There might be a grey one, or someone's gone.
There's no it's not the 70s or the 60s when you had grab a blue and grab a lime and all these fun colours.
Yeah, because everyone's kind of been conformist. I don't know,
it's convenience.
It's convenience.
It's convenience. It's just like, well, I can drive this car wherever. I can drive up a gutter. I can do whatever, and it doesn't matter. Yep. Whereas if I've got a Mustang with a low front splitter and it looks really sick, but I have to be really careful everywhere, and that's a bit inconvenient, so I won't do that.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that's a little.
I'm always
how it is.
I'm so careful coming down of
you gotta be careful.
I'm like, ooh.
But it's low car life. But when you hop out of the car and you look back, do you look back at it?
Fuck, I do it every time. I look back at it. I love looking at it in the reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have knocked my exhaust once off, and you were guys kind enough to put it back on for me, but that was my own stupid fault. We're getting all excited about this. Normally, I'm just talking about business and resilience and mindset. Today, we're just talking about cars.
We can do that too if you want.
How many cars have you sold like that, where they've just come in and gone?
There's plenty of people like that, But usually, it's like, I love it, but could you have it in blue? Or it's so good, but it's got the wrong transmission. So it is. But yeah, you do get the, and then it's okay because you just build one in that transmission, or you build one in that color for them. But most of the time, it goes down that way.
See, I think you boys should do more on LinkedIn. not that I'm a massive fan of LinkedIn. I built my whole business off that.
Yeah.
But that whole B2B business owner community,
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, I don't know if you noticed, but all the big brands are now pumping LinkedIn hard. So Bentley, Porsche, BMW, like they're all, even Sotheby's now are pumping out their car auctions on LinkedIn hard.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're
Much work for them.
I just think it's a whole new way to engage, because like I'm always on LinkedIn for my business, finding this, finding that, finding candidates, finding clients, because obviously my business, the demand, it's a bit like yourself, like you're always looking for new clients, because once that client has a car built, unless they're a dealership, they're not going to come back to you for a couple of years. So you're always looking for that.
Yeah, but that's like, you hope they tell their friends, you go for a drive and they go, oh shit, I want one just like that. And then you do that. So you do get like the friend referrals.
Yeah.
But you're always looking for maybe new angles where people haven't heard of you before.
Correct.
And they want to, and get out there in front of it. And that's why you do either car shows or marketing, or you just go do different things.
I think I came across you guys on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I was looking, bought the car, wanted the car. Then I said, who's going to manage it?
Yeah. Because
I wanted to have the car managed. I didn't want to have, it's not that I'm, funny enough, you and I have a similar thing. I could have had a heavy duty diesel apprenticeship straight out of school, out of boarding school in WA.
Yeah.
But I went aquaculture, right? So I could do the car or have the car mad, but I wanted to work with someone who knew the cars. And because each car has its Achilles heels. I didn't listen to you one year. I took the car on a rally and overcooked the transmission. And that was a fun conversation you and I were having, because I didn't
want to do something.
I didn't listen to you.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm not going to overheat my transmission. Well, I overheated the transmission. But that was my stupid fault, because, drag racing gets a little bit addictive. But with your business structure, and you're building such a great product, and you've got I look at it like a cardo, like you're the manager of RTR brand in Australia, the manager of Shelby in Australia, right? When obviously you're looking for your own staff, because then it's important that you're only as good as the last car that left the building, right? Yep. What do you look for in the staff that need to work at Mustang Motorsport? If someone's watching this and wants to come and work for you, what are you looking for in that person?
So sometimes some people do say you just need the passion for something and that's it. But I sometimes I agree, but sometimes I don't. So I think it's people who have a passion to improve themselves all the time. So it's not just a job. It's not, I like mechanics, or I like these cars, or it's somebody who just wants to punch a ticket and go home. It's actually finding people that want to go somewhere. So maybe that's hard these days, where like, cost of living and people, it's harder for people to aspire to a certain point these days. But if you get people that go, I'm here and I want to become the best mechanic they can be, for example, or sales or whatever it might be. I think people who want to actually go somewhere is what I would like to, I look for. But sometimes in our industry, it is very difficult to find mechanics or technicians that are, who are desiring to, go somewhere. But I think it's an industry that's very difficult to employ, because it's always seen as like kind of like a mechanic is a lower tier job role.
They want to be influencers
and something else. But when I get a bit of inspiration when I see, like I might watch Formula One podcasts or, talking to like, the dealer, the prince,
dealer, we do.
The ones that run the race teams and stuff like that. And then how they can be inspirational with their mechanics and the people on the ground working. And I think like it is a very technical job. It's a very difficult job to do properly. So, but getting people who can like live up to that and work at that level is difficult, but that's what you're looking for, is somebody who wants to be the best at it. Because I do say to the boys some mornings, as a bit of a, pep me up, let's get going, is like, if you've decided your career to be a mechanic, and this goes for if you decide to be a doctor or whatever, it's like, why don't you desire to be the best you can possibly be at that? Because you're going to spend the next however many years of your career, doing that job or that role. So why not be the best mechanic possible, or be the best that? And that might be thinking about continuous improvement as you're working. It might be at home, studying up on things or learning things, or personal development. And I think that just goes for any job role. It doesn't matter if it's mechanics or anything else. It's like, if you actually strive to do things better, you might actually, you will, people might notice. You'll get, the people above you do notice, but it's not something it's given, if that makes sense. So like, people notice you go the extra mile, you learn, you end up being the guy that has the answers, not the questions. And, eventually, you'll be higher up, and you'll be a part of a team that's, you're the guy. So it's you become that you become that force within that program. So people who want to go to that point, and I think they're the good ones to have, because they just strive to go somewhere. Basically,
I fucking like, I'm in a recruitment company.
Yeah.
You're talking my language.
Yeah.
I look for in my recruiters people that have a personal brand, not a big one, a social one, but someone like that are happy to post about what they're doing, because I think people these days, they want to know the story behind Mustang Motorsport. Like they want to know who your people are. Now, I have clients that don't want their staff to do that because they're worried about being poached.
Yeah.
But I think in this day and age, all your staff are now salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw you working on that, and it's interesting, and I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
And it's the last thing you need is one of your mechanics. Oh, this guy wants to build a super snake. Okay, I don't know who he is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
like we have and so that's about the team. It's like, they might be working on the cars, but they, the boys might come to the shows, car shows, help out, talk to customers. Then one of my painter in the shop, he loves selling mirror caps. Pretty much any customer that comes in the door, he's like, your mirror caps would look good black. And then everyone's like, oh, that's a good idea. You probably sell more mirror caps than anyone else. And it's just funny. So
I love that, man. I love that. But he's so like, and you're like, really? Okay. Do we need to do, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Like, and you something I haven't projected with you, but like we both grew up watching Discovery, right?
Yeah.
Fast and Loud, all the car shows on Discovery, and most of them are not there anymore because they've switched to YouTube.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many car brands and influencers and like that. And I believe that is, why the likelihood of RTR is, ready to, I love the name. Fuck yeah. Is getting traction because it's getting picked up by the influencers and the young kids going, I want that.
Yeah. Well, it's the influencer and the YouTube part, I think, is versus those shows, is that it's less structured and feels more real.
Yes.
And then
100%.
Yeah, and then people relate to some of the YouTubers more because it feels like they're watching a friend.
Yeah.
And they become like that part of it. And what they do is cool. They think is cool. Like when you hang out with a cool kid at high school. Next, you want to do.
Well, you're very good with your videos. I think you need to do more of them.
Yeah, it's hard to find time. You got to time and everything. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. And we did a video where we've got a shop car which is the same year as yours.
Yeah.
The older one.
Yeah.
And we decided to do like it's got higher Ks, like a higher K one.
So it's mine now.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, we'll use it as this one's a bit of a ratty one because I got it was actually the cheapest one for sale.
Yeah, and you started the show on series on
features of it, and I've done a couple. We've run out of a bit of time because of running business and everything, and then I actually get customers coming and go, when are you doing the next video? So I'm actually seeing all customers come in and say, I only came into you to get it because I saw that video.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, cool, I'm actually getting direct response, like sale, as a person's coming in to see us because of it, where other media, like being on a TV show or putting in a magazine, it's hard to quantify.
I'm a member of the Mustang Association of Victoria. I look at their magazine once, maybe twice. It sits on the coffee table. Yeah. And then I replace it with a new one when it comes in. And that, like, it's people are engaging differently now, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that's part of the car culture change. Well, is that way it engages differently?
I do a weekly video update for TRS Resourcing with my Mustang in the background, and people are now associating my Mustang with that. Yeah. I just think it's so important now to embrace social media and personal brand, and you want your staff to do it more and trying to get them to do it more, but then you got to find the time. I actually think personal brand is the new Google. It's the new marketing. It's the new everything.
It's part of like that's that social bit we're talking about with Mustangs before, where people engage with everyone, and it's like that social aspect. And then you got some brands like RTR. The point of like part of that branding is it's a social brand, as in it's like social media as a marketing, but it's also they're trying to have this fun. It's called a fun haver lifestyle. Which is and that's where the ready to rock part comes in. The cars aren't a drag car. It's not a race car. It's not a drift car. It is a car that is ready to rock. That's the point of it. So, for example, I drove here in my RTR Spec 3.
We're going to have a look at it soon. I'm very keen.
And we'll have a look. And the point is that car's ready to rock for everything and anything. So I can drive it here, park it here, and then
it's practical.
It's practical, but it's ready for that. It's ready for date night, but it's also ready for the racetrack. And I don't have to change anything on it.
You know what I love about the Mustang?
Yeah.
Not that I have them, but you can put a baby seat in the back seat.
You can, yeah. So I don't have to sell one, which is great. So
yeah, but that's it. Like it's so practical. Should we go have a look?
Sure.
Go
you
outside?
want to check it out?
I think we're good. Done. Right. Done.
Let's go.
Tav approached us and he wanted a car that is great as a daily driver, but also to do bull rush rallies, track days, and really have fun with the Mustang. So when a customer comes in and wants something like that, we have a good chat, work out everything he wants to do, and then put a package together. So at this stage with this car, he didn't want to go supercharged. He just didn't want to go supercharged.
Not yet.
Not yet. So we started with doing our performance package, which has got headers, full exhaust system, and the next part after that was suspension and handling. So people think Mustangs can't handle, but they actually can. The newer model Mustangs have got independent rear end, and they actually have quite fancy setup underneath. So with some minor adjustments, you can make these things, outperform some really expensive machinery. So we've got the 20-inch wheels and tires, big fat tires on the rear to hold the rear end, and some nice fat tires on the front as well, because a lot of weight's up on the front on a Mustang. So having some good tread on the front helps with grip massively. And then we have our Shockworks coilovers. So you'll see this car sits a little bit lower than your normal Mustang, but the coilovers we developed on our race car with Targa Rally Racing. So tarmac rally roads, making a car do things that it shouldn't, really. So basically that development on those coilovers put onto everyone's street car is the best way to get a perfect balance of race handling, but also comfort on B roads. It's like a B road setup car, I suppose is probably the good way to put it. Sleeper, but also you get off the highway and the thing just eats up the mountain roads. So that's the
unbelievable.
That's the idea behind it. So we've done that, and then basically when you lower a car, aesthetically these Mustangs look awesome with just that simple thing. But we've also added the rear wing as well with the exhaust system, which had a quad exhaust. We had to put a Valance on there to accommodate the quad exhaust tips. This stuff's actually a little bit discontinued now. So, but the ROUSH rear Valance, which is super popular on the 2017 models, and this model standard only had the single exhaust tips. So adding the quad kind of makes it a bit newer, but also it makes it sound really good too. So that's actually an Australian-made exhaust system too. So on this car,
it is so bulletproof.
Yeah.
As I said, I've only knocked it once, and you guys were kind enough to put it back on for me, but that was my own stupid fault.
Yeah.
But no, what I love about this car is it's a sleeper. It's not supercharged. We've hummed and hawed about supercharging this car, and I put a hard line in the sand to say, no, I don't want to supercharge this one. We'll supercharge the next one.
Yeah.
But I just think having the first Mustang naturally aspirated, and then we'll go to the...
You experience the chassis and get the most out of the chassis.
Exactly.
If you supercharge it straight away and doing the kind of driving that you want to do, you might not push the chassis or the suspension, the handling to limit, because all you do is I'll just power out of it because I've got all this power in reserve.
Correct.
But by being naturally aspirated, you don't have as much power, but you've got enough to get yourself in trouble still. But you can really get used to the handling and get the most out of the car. So when you do go, all right, let's put a supercharger on it. It can then you can really make the most of the whole thing.
I'll never sell this car. I'll never sell it. But
is that on camera?
I'm never selling Lana.
But
I'm never selling it. I'm never selling it. As I said, all the cars I regret are the ones I sold.
Yes.
So, I won't sell this one. This one means too much.
So it looks to the naked eye, fairly stock, but it actually has quite a couple of, decent mods on the car.
Yeah.
So one of the little tricks that we do is a 2018 intake manifold. So this is actually off a newer model Mustang, and these flow a little bit better, and they also have longer runners, so that makes it a little bit more torque. So that's something night and day. So that's part of it with a tune. So that, along with the intake, the headers, which you can kind of see down the side there, the ceramic coated headers, with a custom tune really like livens up the engine and wakes it up.
I tell you the two biggest mods I've done, which is night and day: the cold air intake and the strut brace.
Yeah. And that was factory on the American cars.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
And then they didn't put it on the Australian ones.
Man, when I drove it without the strut base, it literally felt like a cardboard box with the you know, it just felt. And I'm like, what is this? But then they're like, you put the strut base. I don't know why they didn't make it.
Didn't do it. Yeah, it should be a manufacturing reason. But the new Mustang comes standard with it.
Yeah.
So just, you know, when they decide to put something on. So yeah, and they're just simple mods. Like honestly, like these are the really great mods to put on one of these cars, and you just transform it and make it a really good performance car.
And obviously, you know, we've done a few things. We've done the engine,
coolant
tank, trans cooler, engine cooler upgrade.
Yeah.
So I've basically done everything other than putting a supercharger on this.
Yeah, and then aesthetically keeping it clean and nice without, you know, putting all this gaudy stuff on it, and just making it a really good performance car that just runs under the radar.
I'll be taking this to Sydney tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you know, it doesn't get the attention that other models of Mustangs do get. But yeah, no, I love the package, man.
Alright, so overall this is a really great car that Tavis has had for quite a few years now. He's really enjoyed it and loved it. As you can see, the interior is in great condition, the car on the outside is in great condition, and he doesn't really want to sell it. So what does that tell you about a Mustang? You fall in love with these cars, instead of selling it, you just want to buy another one. So hopefully we see Tavis down at the shop again, maybe putting a supercharger on this, maybe buying a new 25 Mustang, we'll see.
Buying one?
I would love to.
You need to buy one now.
Mate, we're about you right now.
James, buy a Mustang. Be cool.